Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YINZER Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim. We are the YINZER Bros. You just missed the last 15 minutes of just ridiculousness. We took a little break. We'll talk about that. Tim's been for 15 minutes trying to figure out how to get audio back on his computer. We've been doing it for 4 years, Tim.
I felt like you were talking like I was dad and you were talking to me. You're just starting like after this half hour. This is the normalest you've talked to me right now. Everything was like, you have to do this.
Well, Tim's looking at me and it's like, I can't hear him. And he's giving me all these instructions. I'm like, I can't hear you, Tim.
I've never felt so disrespected as I did. It had 20 minutes.
I felt like I was watching a Muppet do tech support in that little box.
TJ, I was doing everything right. When you do everything right and it doesn't turn out right, and you have you talking to me like I'm fifth grade, and I'm going, I was in pure panic mode. I know what to do.
Tim, we are an international, high-powered podcast. You got to get your poop in a group. You got to get your crap together.
I climb my stairs probably 4 times in 3 minutes. I don't climb my stairs 4 times in 8 hours usually in a day. I feel like I was gonna have a heart attack. I can't find the and all it's in my brain right now. I brought down the other mic and I can't find the cord for that. The rest of the night I'm gonna be on a search looking for the cord for the other Yeti when I should just get on Amazon and press pay and be like, here it is tomorrow.
That's right. Or you're not doing that boycott, are you? Where they're not using Amazon, are you?
No, not in my house.
True story. Tim had an Amazon truck hit a tree, take a tree out. And Tim, he always fights the world. And he's like, I'm never using Amazon again. How long did that last, Tim?
I thought I was going to get paid from Jeff Bezos. I thought they're going to buy me a new house from hitting the tree that's like 2 years old in my house. That did. Bezos basically was like, go bleep yourself, Harris. Buy for me again. That was about it.
Was it even a week?
It wasn't, TJ. It wasn't even that. I was ordering stuff that day to fertilize over the tree.
Oh, Tim, golly. Well, we're the YINZER Bros. We took a break. We, like you, needed a break because the team drives us crazy. They drive us nuts. So we needed a break. Everybody here knows how the season ended. I mean, we went right into a nosedive. It was bad. Tim, how did you feel about the Steelers season as a whole this year?
I hate this team, TJ. I hate this. I hate everything about them. The more the season's, I think if you go back to look at like pod 1 or 2, I told you how the season was. Everything was good.
You were like Nostradamus, Tim. You did. You looked into the future.
And I know it's happening before my eyes. And I sink my heart.
Yeah.
And I see it's TJ. It's like the same. It's like Groundhog Day. I feel like I'm living in that movie. It's the same year, everything, all the time, over and over again.
The standard is the standard.
The standard sucks. The standard sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. In fact, let's just be real. It's not good for Pittsburgh sports right now, is it?
TJ, I think the more I think about this, this is a dead serious. This was a dead serious thought with me less than probably a week and a half ago. I may die before I see another championship in Pittsburgh. I may never see one again.
You might. Even the Pitt volleyball girls. What happened?
I don't, TJ. I never ever again.
I know. It's bad.
I'm just coming to the face and facts. It's just like, hey, this sucks. This sucks. I can't watch anything Pittsburgh.
I agree. I feel like Dad. Remember Dad would watch all the old like reruns of the Pittsburgh stuff? I feel like, how many times on Twitter does like Roethlisberger come in and I go, ooh, or anybody like you're like Polamalu, I'm like, oh, here we go, baby.
It's the worst.
Dude, we're that delusional now.
My Christmas Day is when I like put on the NFL Network and they're showing like one of the old, the old Super Bowl ones with all the guys talking it and stuff like that. The NFL one. When that's on, I'm like, I could sit there for 3 hours and be like, let's take me back to these days. It's never going to happen again. I'm convinced.
No, we're a little far away, and I'm living in Philly, so I get to see. They got a championship. They're climbing poles here, setting fire to things. It's pretty ridiculous. I had to watch Kenny Pickett drunk as a skunk with a Super Bowl ring. Tim.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait till the Steelers give up a second round to get Kenny Pickett back from Philly.
Oh, God.
Dude, it was the only thing that was good about that Super Bowl for me was the last 2 pretty much minutes of that game. I hit like on a parlay because of the third down running back getting 1 yard. I had that in a parlay bet, and I had something else that was absolutely ridiculous that shouldn't have happened. What's his name? DeAndre Hopkins caught that touchdown in garbage time.
Yeah.
Won me a lot of money. Those two
Did it
things
really?
won me a
Wow,
lot
Tim.
because
You're
nobody's
quite
picking.
yeah.
Nobody's picking that. I mean,
Yeah.
I put it this way: I got up and I ran around, and Melissa looked at me like I didn't say anything to like what just happened. Like she just was like looking like I was crazy. I didn't want to tell her.
Did she know you put a wager on that?
I mean, because I bought a ginormous TV. And how about that, dude?
The
And how
wager
about
was that big, Tim?
it was nice enough to put some money down on that. If anybody doesn't know, I bought a ginormous new TV, and
did.
of course, I must be the only human being on the planet when you buy a TV a week and a half before Super Bowl, they go, "We can't have it to your house till after Super Bowl time." I'm going, "Thanks, dude. Thanks."
So you watched the Super Bowl on your phone, Tim? What did you do?
I watched the Super Bowl on my old TV with that. There's a ginormous black dot in the middle of my TV. It's been like that for a year and a half. Right at the bottom.
So you earned the new TV. Well,
did.
Tim, the season is over.
Yep.
We, the tortured Yinzers, the Steeler fans, are looking forward to the next season now. The Steelers are looking toward free agency. It's getting ready to start. We've got some holes to fill, so I thought it'd be kind of neat.
Some holes to fill.
Just a couple.
Some holes to fill.
Just a couple. I thought it'd be neat. Let's walk down through the positions and see what we think, maybe the Steelers need. And Tim, if we're going to start anywhere, where are we going to start today?
Well, I don't. Your choice, dude. Your choice.
Well, if we're
it's
going
all
to start,
comical.
you got to start with the QBs, right?
I
Tim,
know. I don't want to.
Who's going
I
to be
don't
the
want to.
QBs? We just heard today too. It's crazy. Whatchamacallit from the Seahawks is going to the Raiders. What's his
For
name?
third round pick,
A
Geno
third
Smith.
round pick. You know what? I hear people saying, "Oh, that was a steal."
TJ,
Still
I
Geno.
I would
don't
cut
know.
my arm off for Geno Smith right now. Do you think about that?
Well, what's he owed this year? You know?
Like I think 16 million.
Oh, that's nothing. Holy cow!
No. And we have some dude that played 4.5 games, has the Steelers over a barrel right now. I'm going, are you kidding me? TJ, we're the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're getting dictated by crappy old Chicago Bear quarterbacks.
That's true. It's bad. So, who do you think the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback's going to be? You got Fields, you got Russ. Who else? Anybody else?
Oh, God. AR?
I think their talk is that Russ is going to the Giants. Have you heard that?
I've heard that.
Now that was probably released by the Russell Wilson camp.
That was released by the Tim Harris camp.
So I heard Kabali said that there's a 70% chance that Fields is going to the Steelers.
Okay. I mean, TJ, what else are you going to do?
I have a thought.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, I have a thought. Now I'm just thinking now, as you got all these guys that are floating around, and I'm not saying it's a great thought, but I have a thought. You got a couple guys that are
don't make me turn this audio off again.
Well, I mean, one of the guys probably going to float around is going to be Sam Darnold. I wouldn't mind seeing Sam Darnold here.
TJ, that dude's going to get paid a lot of money, and I'm not TJ. That has Kent Graham ripping. Oh, we lived this story before, dude.
We did. Kent Graham was bad. So if they say they get Fields, who do you think they're going to draft somebody, or are they just going to roll with Skylar Thompson, who else we got? Or
I mean, I'm guessing you gotta draft somebody, right?
well, who would you draft?
They all suck, TJ.
They do.
Don't tell me because I mean everybody's high on that kid from Old Miss right now. No, I don't want him. Jackson
Is that
Dart.
show? No. Oh yeah,
Jackson,
Dart. Yeah.
I'm good. He's too like. It seemed like he just pulled himself out of a frat house and was like, "Hey, let's go throw some balls around." No.
I've heard Howard. I've heard about.
I don't
him
want
'cause
him.
he's big.
I don't want him.
Well, he doesn't look like he makes good decisions to me. He just doesn't look good.
TJ, he was thrown on air. I don't have a shoulder, and I could throw better on air when I should put up on that combine.
They're saying, what do you do if Sanders drops?
No, TJ, not this. I'm all for if you get a quarterback, you get him in that fourth round, day 3, day 2, late day 2. The only kid I heard a little bit about, people kind of rave a little bit, is that old kid from Louisville.
Who's he?
He's a quarterback from Louisville. He's old. He's like Kenny Pickett's age.
That's great. Well, it's not. Is that show?
I don't show.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Or
holding.
Shoe, maybe? Is it
Shoe
Shoe?
something? I don't think it's just show. That's what's throwing me off.
So
I'm
is it
like,
Tyler Shoe? Tyler Shoe?
Tyler Shown? Shown? Is
I
there an N
don't
in there?
know. I don't know. There might be. I don't know.
I'm asking you. You're looking at something. I'm thinking you're looking down at your phone, looking at some stats.
Well, I'm not looking at that stat. I wasn't looking at that. I didn't have
I
him
didn't
in
know.
there.
I didn't know.
That's
No, I think
good.
I don't think it's shown. Show. I think it's shown. He's from Louisville. Kid's from
Yeah.
Louisville.
How big is he? What's your stats?
I
How
think he's
was
like
he?
six. He's like 6'4", like 220. But
Oh,
he's like
that's
they
not
say
bad.
he's like, but he played college ball for like 7 years because he was hurt that much.
Oh, that's not good. But I
Yeah,
tell you
but
what, that was kind of the thing on Bo Nix, and Bo Nix did okay this year.
I know. I had to eat a lot of crow. I thought Bo Nix was going to stink.
Yeah,
He's
he
not
did
that
pretty
bad.
good. So, I mean, doesn't it make sense just to like let's run with Justin and the backup we got and just put our chips in the table for next year?
I agree with you. But if you want to go back to that, if you are going to grow with Justin, if you're going to take a guy maybe developmental, and I don't like I said, just third day,
I
you
would,
know,
third day I wouldn't mind. Third day's
with
fine.
that kid from Alabama, if he's still there, Milrow.
Yeah, he got smaller hands than Kenny Pickett, Tim.
I understand, TJ, but if you're going to bring in Justin Fields, I'm assuming you want to bring in a quarterback
And he'd be like
him.
You could probably get him. I mean, you could get him day 3, I think. Yeah, I think
I don't want him, but I'm saying but that goes back to like I guess the next brick that we're going to go to. You got to get Justin, but do I want him? No, TJ, I don't. But what
You got
are
to
you going
grab
to do?
somebody. You got to grab.
To me,
I've even heard them say, what's the dude that was from the guy from the Saints? I forgot his name. He just
they're
jumped out of
keeping
my
him.
head.
Their car.
Oh, they're keeping Carr?
Yeah, but I don't. My thing is this, man. It's like you said. Next year's draft, 2020. They're saying the guy that's going first, Cam Ward, he'd be like the 6th quarterback in that draft next year. So to me, you got a young guy. Fields is what 26, 27 still.
26, yeah, 26.
It depends how much you're going to pay him. Like to me, I don't think he should get more than a 2-year, $23 million deal.
I would go up to 30. I'd give him 15 a year.
Oh, I don't know about that, man. That's a lot of money.
I would give him 15 a year, but I'd make it easy for us to get out of the back end of it if he stinks.
2 years. I mean, it depends how much. I would figure you'd have to give him more than half of that guaranteed. You're probably get him 20 guaranteed.
Probably. I mean, I think that's the cost of doing business now. I mean, it just is. What
I look
starting
at
quarterback you got to get in the NFL for $20 million?
I don't know if he's a starting quarterback.
No,
That's
he's
the
going to
thing.
be for us. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to start Skylar Thompson? What are we going to do?
No, I'm not saying.
Tim,
I'm just saying. Like,
how's the wing, Tim? How's the wing? Huh?
he's dude. It just. I think I look at it this way: if you sign him cheap and he ends up being decent, you may have a quarterback for the future. If he stinks, you're drafting in the top, hopefully 10, and you can get one of them quarterbacks.
Well, if you're like in the mid rounds like we are, you can always move up into a place to get a decent quarterback.
Yeah, but could you, TJ? Can you picture this? Close your eyes. Could you picture the scene? Could you picture the scene right now, TJ? This time next year,
I know where you're going. Pretty sweet.
everything's getting all rowdy. The draft's in the Berg, and the Steelers somehow hold like the number 1 pick, and then they go up to that podium, and you hear Arch Manning
Dude,
to the
that'd be
Pittsburgh Steelers.
That'd be sweet.
Just, I mean, that'd be awesome.
That'd be sweet.
That's like my dream scenario right now. That's how bad my sports life sucks.
But I mean, that would be sweet. I mean, there's something about the bloodline. Bloodlines are important.
Right. But you know what? The Steelers, like, they draft the other quarterback that's supposed to be good too, and that guy's going to stink. And you're like, yeah, here we go.
If you get a chance to draft a Manning, you got to draft a Manning, don't you think?
Me and you think this is logical. I do.
Get on the horn. Give Omar a call. Say, Omar, let's get this done.
Omar's not been listening to me much anymore.
He's
I
not,
don't know.
that's
There's things. No,
So
quarterback, you got to
quarterback's
do
a mess.
something.
Yeah,
To
it's
me,
a mess.
To me, it's like if you don't get Fields, I'd go get AR. I know everybody hates him. I'd go get him.
You know what? We need somebody. And again, if the goal is to make.
My thing is, would you rather see AR or would you rather see Russ?
Ooh. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing AR just for the fact of, I mean, who's going to tell him what to do? Now, I do think that he's team poison, but it might be interesting to see him open things up a little bit. And again, I don't know. I guess that would mean we'd probably have an inside track at, Mr. Adams. But
My thing is, dude, if you really think they're going to tell AR, like it's going to tell them what to do,
they're not.
you're out of your mind. There's no way.
No, they're not.
He's not. So I think he'd play nice here. And the thing that's always in the back of my head is, dude, like, okay, AR was an MVP, and I know he busted this thing like a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, to me, I've never said like he's like a top 5 quarterback in this like ever in his career.
Mm-hmm.
AR you have. So maybe that 1 year you're going, maybe he's going to come back and he's in the Pittsburgh organization. It's not the Jets, and he has that year. And I don't know. I would much rather have AR than Russ.
I think this too. Anytime you blow your Achilles and stuff like that, you get older. I mean, maybe he wasn't 100% all year too. You know, you're hobbling around. But again, he'd be great if he's going to do those mushrooms or whatever he's doing. He can just do another thing. That would be awesome. You know this. Man. He can read a defense. He's accurate, yes. And I think our line's going to take a step.
He can throw over the middle.
He can. He can still make all the throws. He's like a statue back there. But hey, we saw other guys like that had relative success with a good team around him, like Flacco and a few of those other guys.
Yeah, but I mean the Flacco. Come on now, TJ. The Flacco offense it's the Russ offense. You throw the moonbow, hope you get a pass interference, they catch it.
Yeah, you could tell. I didn't know for sure if it was true, but Russ is not great at reading defenses either.
How is that possible? He's been in the league for a bazillion years.
You're in the right system, man. They ask you to do what you do, and then that's just what you do. Some guys they're not good at it. In fact, I'll tell you what, this is what I would do. Any QB they get, so they need to take a page out of like Jalen Daniels thing, where all the VR training, whatever it is, I would get whatever that stuff is and say, Justin, we're putting this in your head all year. We're going to teach you how to read a defense. Figure this out. I would rather take intelligence for reading defense with moderate arm strength than a cannon. If you got a cannon, you don't know where you're throwing the ball. Who cares? Intelligence. We need a quarterback with intelligence.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean,
Brady didn't have this. He didn't have like a howitzer cannon on his arm, but he was accurate.
You just told me Russ couldn't read. You don't think Russ could read he couldn't read a defense? Russell Wilson.
I think he is one read dump down.
Russell Wilson, really?
Yeah. I think he looks for the big shot. He doesn't see it. He goes down. Why does he not throw over the middle of the field? Other than he's a midget.
I think he can read a defense, and he predetermines his throws based on what defense he's seeing. He just doesn't adjust it on the back end. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I think you're right. If they jump on it and it's covered, he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the next position of need. It looks like we'll talk about running backs. It looks like Najee. We'll get to the receivers in a second.
I don't even, TJ. That's like the other side of this soap opera where I just don't want to like. I've been through it with this team. You got to go to the receivers. I mean, go ahead.
We'll go to running backs first. Right. It looks like Najee is heading toward the Cowboys. That's what it looks like, which is fine. To grab you a slow guy. So then for us, we're looking at now these running backs. There's some interesting names out there in the free agent scrap heap. Who is the most free agent guy that intrigues you?
None of them. I mean, Dobbins, maybe.
He's the only one that intrigues me a little bit. He's got the right age now. He gets hurt. He's got the right age though.
He's just like Jalen Warren. You ever see him run?
That's okay. What's wrong with Jalen Warren?
I want a opposite of Jalen Warren.
You want a fast, shifty. So we have that. That's Najee Harris. I don't know. Don't we have that?
Slow,
lumbering.
No, I mean you want somebody that's big, but that can is explosive. Explosive.
I think we can get somebody explosive in the draft. We're going to get somebody.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't go any of these free agent bumps.
But if you can get Dobbins, let's just say this. So Dobbins, he stole some tread on the tire. He's been hurt. He's only played half the year.
TJ, his knees are his knees are worse than mine.
He's the only one that I would say.
His knees and Achilles are made of putty and glue.
Let's say you could grab him for 2 years.
Can't wait to hear this, dude.
2 years, I don't know, $8 million.
No.
$4 million a year.
Pass.
Why? I'd grab him for $8 million.
TJ, he ain't gonna make it through 7 games.
So who?
You know what I would do? Here's what I would do.
Hmm?
You're drafting your bell cow. You got Jalen Warren there, and I'm gonna go grab a Kenneth Gainwell from the Philadelphia Eagles as their kind of third guy back. Maybe give him $3 million or so.
You could. So if you get
Four
him for
million.
three, or
Get him
you
4 million.
know,
Say give him 4 million for 2 years.
I mean, they could. So who do you get your eyeball in the draft?
I mean, my eyeballs were straight on that dude from Iowa,
Yeah.
and then now I'm seeing that kid from North Carolina. I saw him run in shorts, TJ. His legs, all when you just when you see somebody run, especially running back, and like you're looking like when their legs just stick out. He had like Saquon Barkley legs. Like I want that dude.
That's it. When do you think he's going to go?
I think he's gonna go
Is that Hampton?
I think so from
Yeah,
North
that's
Carolina because it's you have him and you have the kid from Boise, which is whatever. But
Who,
I
is
like the
that,
kid from
is
North
that
Carolina.
Genty or whatever from
Yeah,
Boise?
I like the kid from North Carolina better. I think he's gonna go. I think he's gonna go maybe first, early second.
So let me ask you a question.
No, don't no, no, not
Let's
the first round
say
pick.
let's say
Not with the first
Genty
pick.
or those. Let's say if they're around, do you grab them?
In the first round?
Yeah.
No, no. TJ, I want a ginormous, humongous people eater with my first pick. I do. I want a big. I need somebody. I need somebody on the defensive line. I don't want to get rushed on for 399 yards in a playoff game.
They need some hosses. There's no doubt. I like that kid. We'll talk about him. I need that. I like that kid Grant, but we'll talk about it in a little bit. Just because he's huge. But here's a thought. So I mean, what about let's say they could supplement somebody on the D line, and then draft another guy instead of drafting a couple. I heard today that
I heard
the Commanders.
the guy from TJ. I'm taking him. I'm picking him up because he's a relationship with Dunbar, the line coach. I'm still drafting a guy that you
Well,
can't.
you still have to
that
draft
blocks
one.
out- no,
Yeah.
you draft him in round one that blocks out the sun, and you're set for that. Your defensive line is set for you do those two moves. Your defensive line's set for 10 years.
It could be. That's good. That's true. I like from running backs too. I wouldn't be like what round would you pick Johnson and that kid from Iowa?
I think he's going to go in the second round, dude. If he's there in the third round, I would draft him in the second round. That's just me, because I'm expecting him to do other moves and dingbat Magoo the next position. And I don't really get it. But I would even take him with their second round pick. I think if the dude from Carolina is there, 100% you take him the second round pick. The guy kid from Iowa, I would still take him the second round, but if you can get him in the third, you get him in the third. But you got to get somebody, and those two dudes are explosive, man. Like the dude from Iowa reminds me of. He's not like Le'Veon Bell shit. He's that body type of Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, yeah.
And he can catch the ball, and he's good in pass protection. And he breaks tackles.
I mean, you need somebody that could take it to the house in any moment.
Yes.
I mean, Saquon showed us that. I mean, again, don't get me wrong, too. You get, the two best probably off-season pickups, by the Eagles and by the Ravens. I get that, Henry and Saquon. But we need somebody. So let's pop back up then to wide receivers now. Now, it looks like they're probably going to keep Pickens. They may trade him away. I don't know. I could see if they get a hold of like a stud that maybe they send him for some picks.
This is good at the most. Go ahead.
Well, so who do you like in free agency? Can you see them targeting somebody in free agency? Yeah.
I mean,
you want Metcalf or who? What kind of guy? Do you want?
I would like to get Metcalf, but just for the pure enjoyment of seeing him and Pickens on the field all the game to see what happens, to see who throws the biggest tantrum out of the two of those would be comical.
He's a big man too.
He's a big man. TJ, if it's me, I'm going after Devontae Adams. I know he's old, but you need a guy that's a route technician.
Yeah.
There's not, and everybody says he's old. You don't lose that getting older.
No, you don't. No.
So to me, he would be that perfect dude to take that stress off of Pickens and the running game and the tight end. That's who I would target, Adams. But I know they're going to end up some dude like Darius Slayton, and I'm going to break everything in my house.
They probably will. Well, maybe they'll go after a couple. They got some money to spend. And they're not breaking the bank still with a quarterback. Even if they bring in Fields, it's not going to kill everybody. They're going
to spend some big money somewhere.
Well, I think they'll bring in a couple big guys. They're probably going to bring in a cornerback. We'll talk about that. But
I think they're going to.
So I mean, why couldn't they? If they bring it, what do you think Devontae Adams is going to cost?
I don't know. I think he's going to at least be in the $15 million range, right?
That's okay.
But then who? I don't.
You
Then
still
again,
got
I don't know.
Pickens on
TJ,
the
that
sheet.
again, I don't know. I got that they just signed Tutu Atwood for in L.A. They gave that kid $10 million for a year. Think about that, dude.
I know. I
They
just
got
think it's
a 400 yards receiving last year.
it's
Makes
a
no sense to
cost.
me.
I don't understand that either. I mean, that's close to like a Slayton. Slayton only had what 500 yards receiving last year, so I mean, it wasn't a lot. Now the year before he had like 8 or 900, which is fine. They got. I mean, there's enough big quarterbacks or excuse me, receivers that are flopping around every place. I think they can get somebody. Yeah, I saw whatchamacallit is going to the Jaguars traded
Yeah,
whatchamacallit
Kurt.
today.
And everybody said, because the Steelers were on him last year. I'm kind of going like, why would you take him this year, dude? He's a slot guy.
Yeah,
You have a bunch of slot guys on your team.
we do. Yeah, we do. You're right.
I just
You need a burner, somebody big on the outside, or like you said, like a route running technician. I think Devontae Adams would be good.
you have your burner on the outside. George Pickens is a
He
freak
is.
on the outside.
He is.
It's to me, it's like you need that route technician to take so the defense isn't playing over the top, so you can get those deep balls to Pickens. So to
I
me, it's
think
like
he's still fine. I mean, in an Arthur Smith offense, on that side too, he's throwing to spots. So if you're to draft somebody, who would you draft? Like for the Steelers, I mean, we got names like I've seen Golden is impressive to me. I've seen also Egbuka is pretty good too.
the first dude that's a dude from Texas.
Yeah,
I like him. If the kid from Arizona, I think he's Arizona State, if he somehow slips, which I don't think he's going to make it out of the top 8 picks, if he somehow gets in that, say, 17 range category, I trade up and get him in 2 seconds. Kid's a freak, man.
okay. I mean, they're going to pick somebody. I mean, obviously, the thing is that are they going to grab somebody first round or second round? Do you think Grant will be around by the second round, or are they going to have to grab him in the first?
But the guy from Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
no, he'll be. I don't think he's going to get the 20. I don't think he's going to get the our pick. If you want my God's
And
opinion.
we'll talk about that. The only thing that's interesting about him, though, is, I mean, he fits us pretty well. What's he like? 340 pounds. He's a run stopper in the middle, and he's not like necessarily like an every down guy there, but he fits us perfect for having a big.
I know.
We missed that
Trying to get
Casey
that dude.
Hampton.
I
We
know.
missed that big guy.
I know.
All right, so I think there's enough. They'll fill the hole with that. Now, offensive line to me looks pretty decent. I think they could pick up some guys. In the off season, but all their drafts been pretty good. I don't know if they're going to. I mean, I think they're going to cut some guys loose, which is fine. So what do you think about? They picked up a tight end. What if? Let's just say at 21, that
Yes.
tight end.
Yes.
I mean, if you want somebody to catch the ball and it's a threat, he kind of checks his boxes, doesn't he?
I would probably. That's one of those picks where I'd be so happy they got him. And like 3 years later, I'd be looking at the screen like, why did we draft this dude?
I mean, he looks.
I don't know. He does look good. You can't.
How many tight ends can you put on the field at one time?
Arthur Smith loves tight ends. Like it's his favorite thing. It's like his favorite position on the field.
You think about, you'd have Washington. I mean, we would have 4. You bring in a guy like that. Those are pretty intense sets. You talk about they picked up that dude who's what, like 6'8" or something like that.
Who's gonna throw him the ball? We got nobody throwing the ball.
That's true.
I know. I don't know. I think it would. You would have to take him, I guess, man. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if he's
You'd have
there,
to take
I
the
would.
kid. Yeah. I mean,
So, I mean, offense, I think that now. So then it leaves us to.
I still think on the line you need to go out and get like a swing tackle because those two. I mean, I think the Tribal Chief's going to be great.
Yeah.
But I don't know when you got bad feet and stuff like he does. It could happen. You got a bad knee. Jones. I get you're moving to the left side, but man,
this is his year. You're rolling the dice.
You gotta protect yourself and get somebody, man.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Why not?
They got that kid Spencer. He hasn't been too bad as a fill-in. He hasn't been bad at all.
I guess.
No, so I mean, I don't know. He hasn't been bad. So what do you think of? So Arthur Smith's going to have a second year. What do you think of him as? What do you think of the scheme?
I don't know, dude. I think it stinks. I see a lot of the same stuff I saw over and over, play calling again and again and again. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no idea what to expect with him. I have no clue.
I've often wondered, so these guys, it's a copycat lead. You think somebody that has that type of, intelligence, they would say, hey, these guys are doing this. Why don't we copy some of that stuff? It's almost like when you hear these guys talking that are designing stuff, whether it's San Francisco or the Rams or all these other things, um, you're looking at tape. Oh, I love that concept. Let's
Dude,
add that. Is it that tough to do that?
to me, like us saying this out loud, no. But I don't know, man. I don't know because I don't get it either. It's like I sit there, I go, man, I want to have one of those fun offenses like the Rams or like the guy from Detroit who's going to the Bears. This would be great. And you get that all the time. I don't know, man.
So let's talk a little bit about the defense. Obviously, the defensive line needs help. I think on both of our radars, that kid Grant, I think, is exactly what we need. He's the
Yep.
size. They keep getting these tweeners, and I don't know why. I don't know why. I mean, they're just not quite big enough to be inside, but they're too slow to be outside. Why do we
couldn't
keep
you-
drafting like Leal and these guys?
Why don't you like what? Couldn't you just like get a couple sumo wrestlers, put them
You
in
could.
there,
That's what I would
and
do.
just say, just sit, just lay here.
That's right. That's what I would do. Now, again, you're going to have some free agent guys that you could probably grab that aren't going to be
Yeah.
bad. But I mean, I'm with you.
got
Did you
it.
see they talked about Javon Hargrave maybe coming back?
I get it, but you got to infuse that.
What's he like,
line.
37? How old's he now?
You got to infuse that line with somebody young because Cam's getting older. You
Oh,
got
yeah.
to get some more young dudes. So to me, it's like you gotta pump at least around one or two pick.
Who's that kid, the real big kid? Is that Nolan that's got basically his specs
They
that
got-
wants to
what do
be
you-
here? Or is it Harmon, the big defensive lineman? He ain't the
from,
chunky.
from Washington.
Is he from Washington? I mean, he's big. He's
Yes.
like 6'6" or
huge.
something like that.
Yeah,
huge.
he's a big dude. He's a big.
He's
dude.
like a Cam Hayward kind of.
He played for that's why because he played for Alabama. He played for the line coach when he was
That's
there,
right.
Dunbar. That's why they're
That's
saying. But you're going to have to. He's going to money. That's going to be that could be a cheap one.
No. Well, I mean, we need defensive line help. I think you get some defensive line help. I think it's good. D-backs, we're going to pick somebody up in free agency. I think they can draft somebody in the later rounds, but I mean, it's you got a lot of free agents plopping around this year. And it's
You
not like
go get. You need to get somebody that's has some age in that to help Porter out too. You know,
when you say age, the first person that comes to mind is
Slay. But to me, it's like I wouldn't make. To me, he'd be good like a third guy. Like when they
Yeah.
brought you got to go get somebody as a two.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. I think you bring somebody too to help to bring help to bring Porter along a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I think that'll help. And then, you get, safety. I'll tell you what, I thought we rang the bell last year. Well, we did great with safety. I mean,
Oh, the Sean Elliott's awesome, man. He's
is.
awesome,
And
dude. That was a great
he's a
sign.
good pickup. So I think they're pretty solid there. It's funny too, like linebacker wise, you got a young guy. It looks like Holcomb's going to be coming back. We don't know what he's going to be like. And then, you got, I think they're set inside. When's the last time we said we thought they'd be set inside? I think they're pretty set outside too.
I still would like to see them go sign. I mean, I think Alandra Roberts is.
I like him.
Then again, who knows? I mean, again, you know what? No, he sucks too. Because I watched them go out like chumps in that playoff game. They went out like chumps.
You know what? They need big defensive linemen.
You're right. But
And
I
they
mean,
they're trying to piecemeal. I'll tell you what, if the Eagles showed us anything, you build up in the trenches, you put some great teams, build some. I always thought this, even the beginning of last year, and I may have even said it in one of the earlier podcasts. I still think we're 2 years away before we're really competitive. We're just not thick enough yet on both sides of the ball. Now, they've had good drafts. I consider these last drafts pretty good with guys that they're throwing in and playing. Again, you rebuilt your offensive line.
What do you consider competitive?
I think in 2 years, I don't think next year you're going to see it, but I think in 2 years, they'll go deep into the playoffs if they continue to stay on their trends. You got a young offensive line. You're going to transition into a young, heavy defensive line.
Yeah.
Your wide receivers. I mean, if you keep Pickens and he stays on the straight and narrow, he should be hitting his stride. Your running backs are going to be great. Who your quarterback's going to be, I don't know. I mean, best case scenario.
EJ, that's the biggest.
Well, it is big, but let me ask you a question. Where would you put Jalen Hurts as far as quarterbacks in the league? Like, you take him, let's say you take him off the Eagles and you put him on, I don't know, say you put him on, who was a decent playoff team that went, say you put him on the Bills. How far does he take the Bills? I don't think you get a world title out of it. Now that doesn't. I'm not
He's
taking
so
anything
pretty
away
good.
from Jalen.
He reminds me a lot of like when I said, I never thought Russell Wilson was a top 5 quarterback and he won a Super Bowl. That's what Jalen Hurts reminds me of. Like people are gonna blow him up, be like, won Super Bowls, like, dude, it wasn't like he was the one killing you. Well, he did in the Super Bowl. He did cook them in the Super Bowl. I will give him that.
So this is Philly sports. I realize this. Philly sports is just like Pittsburgh sports. I'm listening to Philly sports after the Super Bowl. And the first thing I hear from Philly sports, Jalen Hurts, I don't know if he's that good. Do we really want to keep him? He just won the frickin' Super Bowl. He's the MVP. Can you give him a day? But I realized Philly and Pittsburgh are like Siamese twins that were separated. I mean, come on. Do you remember Dad saying, get rid of that Noel? He's a bum. I remember him saying, Cower Power, he's a jerk. You remember when he called out, who did he call out that he was going to try to kick his butt? Greg Lloyd?
He did. He said
he's a bum. Greg Lloyd's a bum.
No, he actually was going to try to get in the car and drive down the stadium and
we
fight
told
Greg
him,
Lloyd.
we're like, he's like a 12th degree black belt. He's like, I don't care. I'm from Swissville.
TJ, I would have paid high dollars to see that. High dollars.
Brother, it's crazy. So, I mean, they got some holes on defense, too. They got to go after the line. They got to do that stuff. I don't know. So, with that all being said, let's say they secure Fields. Let's say they get Devontae Adams, or they add like a DK Matt, somebody to the quarterback or to the receiver room that's decent. Let's say they add a stud running back. They thicken up the defensive line. They add a cornerback, Slay. I mean, he's a little bit old for me, but hey, like you said, maybe he's a third guy. They put enough stuff up. They got enough money to do stuff, and you got Fields on the team. What is your level of optimism? I mean, they're not going to be like, I hear people are like, oh, they're like 2 and they're not going to win 2 games. They're probably going to be middle of the road, close again. What do you think they'd do with a team like that?
What would they do with a team like that?
What would your record be?
9-8. 10. Yeah, 9-8. 9-8. TJ, they 9-8, maybe 10. Well,
we were 10. What were we this year? We were 10-7 this year.
We were 10-7. So
yeah,
maybe one less. I don't know. No, they probably. I don't know, man.
We fell out. I understand. We fell out of the sky, Dan. Now, again, we know that Pickens was hurt to the thing, and they had nobody else. So that's part of it, too. Let's say Pickens was good. Do they steal one more game?
No. They got TJ. They got tattooed in those games. It wasn't even close. They weren't even close.
But think about the stretch of those games. You're playing the Chiefs. You're playing the Ravens.
Like after Christmas, there was nothing to be happy about.
But you know, in that big span, the 3 main teams they played were the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Eagles.
Yeah, but everybody was all playing them. They were all playing the same teams too.
Well, I get it, but I don't think we're at their level yet.
No, TJ. If anything, do you think if they just threw that team out that you just named, there was going to be a different story?
No. You got to pray to God somebody gets hurt, like when Mom was praying for Tom Brady to break his leg every year.
It's the only way I could possibly think of happening. Like you somehow Burrow, all those quarterbacks, Mahomes, like they first play, they all broke their legs, and we're going against Matt Castles, and we got Justin Fields. But we got a shot at this.
You know what?
There's
I wonder.
Way.
I wonder if, and again, the Eagles were special, but I wonder if they kind of figured out a blueprint against Mahomes.
What, TJ? Have generational talent on your defensive line? I mean, I can't believe the Bears passed on Jalen Carter.
It's crazy. Almost, we could have traded up to get him. He was within reach of us, like within a couple picks.
I still hear Bear fans tell me no is the right pick because the offensive lineman guy, the guys, he'll be fine. I'm like, are you guys living in La La Land? The dude's going to be generational.
He is generational. That's amazing.
All right. Killed a guy doesn't mean anything.
Hey, you know what? So did Ray Lewis, and he's going to be he's a Hall of Famer. Ray, if you're listening to this, I was kidding, and I live in Chicago.
Yeah. He's probably
No, I don't want to mess with that. He's a man of the Lord now. I don't mess with that anymore. So I don't know. Tim, by the way, do we have anything in the injury mailbag? I didn't even ask you.
We do. Mushy came in with some
what do you ask?
Yeah, nice little long list, man.
By the way, the injury mailbag is when you, the fans, get to ask us, the Injury Bros, anything. And I can't stress enough what a high honor that is. If you want to give us a question, you just email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. And guys, we need more questions. You guys got to start emailing us. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to our stuff. Follow us. Spread the word. Tim, what's in the injury mailbag tonight?
I will say, man, with the mush, like to add on top, the Steelers just getting pounded. Notre Dame was going on that run to the college football playoffs. TJ, my life was like a blender from hell. It was awful.
I believe it.
I didn't even want to watch TV on the weekends to see football. I was like, football just hurts.
It does.
I just associated it just football like I like hurt. It just didn't. No.
I'm with you. I hear you. I'm with you 100%.
So okay, it says postseason feelings are what? Disgust, disappointment, anger, acceptance, indifference. All of the aboves. So what's your feel? I mean, I know you kind of got into it. How the season ended.
I think that covered everything to me. I don't know.
I know.
I know. But again, I'm the eternal optimist. Tim knows that. I think I like at least the direction they're heading. I think they're building a solid team. They just need that piece. I'm telling you right now, I would, unless he stinks next year, unless he's awful, you figure out how to get Manning next year.
I know, man.
Unless he falls out of this. I mean, because if he's anything like his brothers, like his dad, just go get him. You know he's got to have intelligence, right?
Yeah, but what if we're like the one team that screws up all the Mannings?
We could be. I don't know. But you'd have
do you want to go down? Do you want to go down in history as that team?
He could be, but wouldn't you love to know that you got Peyton and Eli and his dad and Archie talking in his ear? Hey, you got to try this, do this. It's almost like he's got 3 quarterback coaches, right?
Oh, dude,
get
him.
Can
just see now.
And you know what I do? You sell the farm to go get him. If you trade away a first this year and a second next year, whatever you got to do to get to where he's at, you do that thing.
I mean, I just know if I can't handle big dopey Manning face for the next 15 years.
I know. Because you're going to see, because you know who's going to be hanging around. You're going to see Peyton all the time. You're going to see big dumb Eli all the time. They're going to be there.
You are.
Tomlin likes bloodlines.
Oh, okay. So after going 8-2, the team went 2-8. How troubling is that, considering most of the teams in the last half were playoff teams? I don't know what that means.
He's saying the back end of the schedule was a lot tougher.
I agree.
How do we feel about that?
I mean, it's football.
I think it's competition and injuries. I don't tell you. And I think Russ showed us who he is. So here's the question.
How are you going to leave me on a cliffhanger like that?
Yeah, that's right.
What do you mean? Who he is? Who is he?
If Justin played those games, first, I don't know if Justin gives us like the couple quick games that he gave us that Russ did. But does Justin give us enough? Does he have enough of stuff where he would have overcome those things? Or would he have been in the same boat because he didn't have anybody to throw to? You know what I think the biggest disservice of the whole year was? That stinking wide receiver room. It was awful. And what we feared the most happened. George went down. So what did we expect? Van Jefferson's going to pick up the stuff.
That dude stinks.
Calvin Austin's going to do it.
Cordell
Patterson?
How did they have
running in quicksand?
How did they have the cool yawns to keep marching Vance Jesser out on that field week after week?
I don't know.
And why was Cordell Patterson getting third down in critical calls in big games?
Oh my goodness.
Cordell Patterson. He looked like times you think Najee looks like he's running into quicksand. I mean, I think Cordell Patterson actually was running in quicksand. Oh man!
You know what's funny? You remember that first run he had? He did that high knee and stuff like that. We were like, "This guy's gonna be epic! What a great pickup!"
When he went in
he peaked there.
I think when he went into the game for like Najee, I wasn't always in Atlanta, and he looked like the best running back on the field, and then he got hurt and he just didn't play again until like week 16, and then he looked like he was running like he just in slow motion.
He's bad,
and they kept giving him the ball on 3rd and 1 in important calls.
It was like
I would rather me or you come out of the stands and like give him the wrong 3rd and 1.
So you had Warren who was struggling, and then you had like slow or slower. I mean, those were your 3 choices.
Oh my. Okay. He goes. What 3 roster moves, including front office and coaches, would be the most impactful to improve the team? Do you move TJ? Do you move Minka?
I don't move TJ. I would move Mika.
You would really?
Yeah.
I know he hasn't been. I mean, but who are you going to put back there?
I just think it's easier to replace him than it is to replace. Now, I'm not saying we don't have great outside backers.
TJ, I'm telling you right now, don't get rid of him. If they the ultimate slap in my face, you get rid of Minka and you bring Terrell Edmonds back.
No, that'd be bad. No, that'd be bad. But I think you can find safeties better than you can find. Well, I mean, hey, TJ Watt he's one of the best. He's going to be one of the best linebackers ever.
Outside
but I mean,
backers. You realize you're going to have to give a bigger deal than. That's another thing this front office just sucks on. Why wouldn't you want to be the first one to get TJ's money so you're not going to be paying $1 bazillion? Steelers. Right. I heard something today that they say they don't work on weekends. The Steelers, the front office. That can't be true.
No, they work all the time.
They better be, because I better be seeing Justin Fields signed for 2 years, $22 million by Sunday night.
Omar's coming. He's coming. He's Omar. Omar's coming. Omar's coming. I gotta say this. He is I do like him and Weidl. He's the capologist and Weidel's is the guy that's picking the guys. I like that. I mean, dude, their last couple drafts have been pretty solid.
TJ. They had Vance Jefferson was their number 2 wide receiver.
No, I said drafts.
Do better.
Drafts. Yeah,
no, that front office needs to do better.
You know, I think they put all their eggs in whatchamacallit's
TJ, if I have to go through that circus all summer again, no way.
Would you have wanted Deebo Samuels? They said he came in 20 pounds overweight.
He
didn't do much yesterday. Which puts him.
There's nothing wrong with coming around in 20 pounds overweight.
So that puts him about 40 pounds lighter. That was good.
TJ, I'll tell you, I had to go to the doctor the other day. Stepped on the scale. I felt good about myself for
what did you weigh in at, Tim?
Let's keep that between me, my wife, and the medical professionals.
Can you give me hot or cold? Let me guess. Can I guess? Hey, let me know if I'm within 5 pounds. 245.
I mean, trust me. From the last time I went to the doctor to this time.
Well, all you can hope for is improvements, Tim.
I mean, that was a big improvement. I go, wow, man.
So you're down to 245. That's great. Or you down to 250. I don't understand.
No. I'm definitely down to that. So
okay,
I mean, yeah.
You want to hear something crazy? I was at the doctor.
I didn't go on a 3-month fast like you.
You know what I weighed in this? You know what I weighed in? $195.
Yeah, because TJ, you didn't eat food for a month.
We call that discipline. That was discipline.
TJ, I tried to do that. I can't get through a day. I can't.
Because you're addicted to them, those watermelon gummies.
No, I haven't had those in a while, man. You know, it's now these, the little, those little balls, the chocolate balls that you see, it's in the stores, the French guys, like the chefs are on.
Oh yeah.
The Lindors thingies, I think that's what they're
the truffles or whatever.
Dude, I have been just mashing through those.
Oh my goodness!
I went and I was in Costco and they had the big bags, and I got it for Melissa. As soon as she opened it, I was like, "Hulk break, Hulk break."
I love it. You got it for Melissa.
I mean, I look like a cartoon. Like they're just throwing it back.
Those are good.
Been crushing them, man. I can't stop. I can't stop eating them. I go past the pantry, and the bag's like, "Ooh la la, go give me some." I go running in there.
I'm with you, dude. I hear you.
I think I threw the other night while Melissa was upstairs putting Olivia to bed 4-way within like a half a second.
What do you do with the wrappers? How do you hide the wrappers?
TJ, I was putting in my mouth like they were sunflower seeds.
That's awesome.
And I bury the wrappers. Like I put them in the recycle bin so far down underneath stuff. I gotta wash my hands and everything after I bury them. I'm like, no.
Tim, I'm gonna have to introduce you to my friend, Mr. Diabetes.
I can't, like, I know I got to go to Costco, I believe, this weekend. And, like, I don't even want to walk past them at Costco because they're going to be like, ooh la la, come get me.
Is another one of those going to jump in your cart, Tim?
TJ, the way I'm going, it ain't gonna be one. It's gonna have. I'm gonna like.
You're gonna be double fisted them like you're carrying.
You know
two
how
babies out
Costco
of
to
a fire.
Costco and they give you the boxes to check out with if you need the stuff.
Yeah.
I may just grab the whole box if it comes out. They're
You
good.
got anything else in the Yinzer mailbag?
A lot. It sucks. A lot of the questions he kind of we
No, that's
answered.
okay. That means we're on the same page.
Oh, here's this. He wanted to know. Quick question. Over under on the Pittsburgh Pirates this year.
I wish they would have added some bats. They do have a ridiculous. Did you see Skeens added another pitch?
TJ, that dude,
He looks
I love him.
ridiculous.
I love him.
Imagine how many pitches you're going to have when the Yankees take him from us.
It's gonna suck, dude.
I'm going to say if
You know their
could
highest
somehow-
paid free agent this year was Andrew McCutchen.
Are you serious?
Think about that, dude. Think about that.
It's bad.
They
We're held
suck.
hostage. Do you think they're going to win 80 games, north of 80 games?
So they got to finish what to be 500. What's 500? How many games they play?
What, 100 was there 168 games or something like that?
Jeez.
84,
be-
84 to break even.
I think they're going to be somewhere around the 75 to 78 category.
I think depending on this would be my only hope that they're decent enough and they're competitive enough to where when it's time to go shopping, they shop and they bring in some bats. I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say
You just made it sound like when they're going shopping, they're going to go grab Mookie Betts and the rest of might drown the rest of the crew.
maybe you never know. I
They're
would say
gonna be
this.
they're gonna be shopping for guys like me and you. They're like,
Yeah,
come on, we need. Yeah,
I think they trade out their hitting coach too. I think.
I'm sure that was the issue.
Yeah, wasn't talent. I'm going to say this. I'm going to give them. I'm going to say
Pitching, TJ, their pitching is so good. It just sucks. Good.
It
I
is.
mean,
but I mean, you can lose games 2-1.
I know.
Two. I mean, that's all it may take to beat us. But I'm going to say this. I think they're going to be over 80 this year. It might just be over 80, but I would love it if they finished even with like 84 just to be whatever. That may be enough to get into a wild card because baseball is terrible.
I don't know what I'd ever do if I got a chance to see you. I mean, at least you got a chance to see a World Series when you're picking your nose and sucking your thumbs. Like
I was 9 years old when I saw the family.
All I have is heartbreak from Sid Bream. That's all baseball I know.
We should find Sid Bream where he lives and like egg his house.
TJ, he's probably in way better condition than he probably tracked me down at this time.
He probably would. Oh, jeez. No, yeah, that would be my guess. So I don't know. Got anything else in the user mailbag?
No, he has some Penguin stuff, but I'm too depressed to
We
read
ain't
that.
talking about the Penguins. That's a dumpster fire.
I've been just. This is
It's a fire sale for those guys. All right. Well, we had this was a little bit extended, but we were out. Again, we're going to be back here on a more regular basis. We've got free agency kicking up. We got the draft kicking up. We got all the stuff kicking up here shortly. So the Yinzer Bros, we're not going to let you down. We're going to be here.
Have you started rolling the pennies for the Ireland trip?
No, not yet. We were talking right now. The Yinzer Bros may be on location in Ireland. Now, I have a little caveat with that. My wife is of Irish descent. And she's like, if you go to Ireland, you're taking me with you. And I'm like, well, how much money you got? That was the wrong thing to say. How many of those Irish have tempers?
T, that was.
That was a rookie mistake, Tim. We call that a rookie mistake. But we
You're-
could be in
you're
Ireland.
old.
We're working out stuff. Tim's working on tickets or something like that? Or are we just going to spend?
I don't know, TJ.
Are we just going to pay the AAA people?
No, I'm working on. I just saw the.
You're in negotiations?
Well, let me put it this way: we have this podcast, and I feel depressed, and like the other kick in the groin today was, my season tickets getting renewed. So I know that's kind of. But there's being a season ticket. I put our name into a raffle. So maybe like the Super Bowl, we may get something. If not, I'm trying to work some stuff. I'll continue to look.
It's all we can do. Can you see us in Ireland?
Oh, dude, we would look like just two Muppets walking around with our Greek flag shirts on.
We would be representing. That's true.
two Muppets.
It would be so. We'll see. We'll keep you guys posted on that. Again, I'm TJ. This is Tim. We're the Yinzer Bros. Don't forget, if you like what you hear, tell everybody. We need to take a step this year, Tim.
Yeah.
I think we're going in. Is this our fifth year? Fourth or fifth year?
Time flies when you're just having a
It does.
blast.
It does.
I
So
think
we're
it
taking it to the
maybe
level.
5. Yeah, maybe 5.
Maybe year 5. I think it might be year 5. So again, pass it to everybody so we can take that next step. It's great. Again, we're the Yinzer Bros. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number 1 out here. I hear the chocolates talking to me. Ooh la la.
We'll see you guys.